George Orwell's Animal Farm, first published in 1945, is a political allegory and satirical novella that explores the dangers of totalitarianism, the corruption of ideals, and the cyclical nature of oppression. Using a farm and its animal inhabitants as a metaphor for the Russian Revolution and the rise of Stalinism, Orwell critiques the betrayal of revolutionary movements and how power can corrupt even the noblest intentions. Despite its simplicity and brevity, Animal Farm is a powerful and enduring work that conveys complex political truths through allegory, irony, and character symbolism. The Rebellion. The story begins on Manor Farm, where the animals live under the oppressive rule of Mr. Jones, a negligent and drunken farmer. One night, Old Major, a wise and respected boar, delivers an impassioned speech urging the animals to rebel against their human oppressors. He teaches them the song Beasts of England, a revolutionary anthem, and inspires them with the vision of an egalitarian animal society. Old Major dies soon after, but his ideas take root. The pigs, being the most intelligent animals, lead the ideological charge, with Snowball and Napoleon emerging as the key figures. They develop the philosophy of animalism, which promotes equality, self-governance, and the rejection of all things human. When Mr. Jones fails to feed the animals, they rebel and expel him from the farm. The animals take over and rename the property Animal Farm, vowing to build a society based on justice and equality. The early days of Animal Farm. Initially, the revolution appears successful. The animals create 7 commandments to guide their society. Whatever goes upon 2 legs is an enemy. Whatever goes upon 4 legs, or has wings, is a friend. No animal shall wear clothes. No animal shall sleep in a bed. No animal shall drink alcohol. No animal shall kill any other animal. All animals are equal. The pigs assume leadership roles, with Snowball focusing on planning and education, and Napoleon focusing on power. The animals work hard, harvest successfully, and experience a sense of pride and autonomy. However, the pigs begin to set themselves apart, reserving milk and apples for themselves. They justify this by claiming they need extra nutrition to lead effectively, and the other animals, particularly the loyal cart horse Boxer, accept this without protest, repeating his motto, "I will work harder." Power struggles and corruption. Snowball and Napoleon clash over the direction of the farm. Snowball proposes building a windmill to generate electricity and improve productivity. Napoleon opposes the idea, until he drives Snowball out using trained attack dogs. After Snowball's expulsion, Napoleon declares himself the sole leader. From this point forward, Animal Farm becomes increasingly totalitarian. Napoleon uses fear, propaganda, via the pig squealer, and ritual to maintain control. Snowball is scapegoated for every failure, and the truth becomes whatever Napoleon decrees. The windmill is eventually built but is repeatedly destroyed, once by a storm and later during an attack by humans. Each time, the animals are told it is a triumph and that Snowball was responsible for sabotage. Deterioration of ideals. As time passes, the animals' living conditions worsen, but the pigs grow more privileged. Napoleon engages in trade with neighboring humans, a direct violation of animalism. He lives in luxury, drinks alcohol, and revises the 7 commandments secretly to suit his desires. Meanwhile, Boxer works himself to exhaustion. When he collapses, the animals believe he is being sent to a hospital, but he is actually sold to a glue factory. This betrayal devastates the animals, though Squealer convinces them otherwise. The final transformation. Years pass, and many of the original revolutionaries die. The pigs continue to resemble humans more and more, walking on 2 legs and wearing clothes. The 7 commandments are eventually replaced with a single maxim. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. In the final scene, the animals watch through a window as the pigs dine with human farmers. They can no longer distinguish between pig and man. The revolution has come full circle, and the animals are as oppressed as they were under Mr. Jones. Only the faces have changed. Character analysis. Napoleon. Napoleon represents Joseph Stalin. He is cunning, ruthless, and power-hungry. Though he initially supports the revolution, he quickly consolidates power and eliminates opposition. He uses propaganda, surveillance, and violence to maintain control. Under his rule, Animal Farm becomes a dictatorship masked by revolutionary language. Snowball. Snowball represents Leon Trotsky, an idealist and intellectual who is exiled by his rival. He is genuinely committed to improving Animal Farm and advocates for technological progress, the windmill. His forced removal symbolizes how revolutionary leaders are often overthrown by more authoritarian figures. Squealer. Squealer represents the Soviet propaganda machine. He is a master of manipulation, using twisted logic and fear to justify Napoleon's actions. He constantly revises history and language to suit the regime, ensuring that the animals remain confused and submissive. Boxer. Boxer symbolizes the working class, especially the Russian proletariat. Loyal, strong, and naive, he embodies the values of hard work and sacrifice. His tragic fate reflects how totalitarian regimes exploit and discard the very people they claim to uplift. Old Major. Old Major blends the figures of Karl Marx and Vladimir Lenin. His vision of a utopian society inspires the rebellion, but he does not live to see its realization. Like Marx's ideas, his teachings are distorted by those who come after him. Benjamin. Benjamin, the cynical donkey, represents the intellectuals or skeptics who see the truth but refuse to act. His fatalism and inaction contribute to the failure of the revolution. The sheep. The sheep symbolize the unthinking masses who are easily manipulated by slogans like, 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. Their blind repetition of propaganda shows how groupthink sustains authoritarian regimes. Major themes. Power and corruption. Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. This theme runs through the entire novella. The pigs, though initially revolutionaries, become as tyrannical as the humans they overthrew. Orwell shows how even noble ideals can be corrupted when power is unchecked. Betrayal of ideals. The animals begin with a vision of equality and justice. Over time, the original commandments are altered until they lose all meaning. The revolution is betrayed not by external enemies, but by the internal rot of leadership. The idealism of the early rebellion is perverted into oppression. Propaganda and language. Language is used as a tool of control. Squealer's manipulation of facts, the revision of the commandments, and slogans like, "Napoleon is always right," reveal how propaganda shapes perception. Orwell warns that when language is distorted, truth becomes meaningless. Class and inequality. The animals begin as equals, but inequality quickly re-emerges. The pigs establish a new elite, hoarding resources and privileges. The rest of the animals suffer while believing they are part of a noble cause. The story critiques how revolutions often recreate the very class divisions they aim to abolish. Fear and violence. Napoleon uses fear, through his dogs and purges, to suppress dissent. The confessions and executions mirror Stalin's show trials. Fear becomes a tool for obedience, ensuring that even when animals question the regime, they are too terrified to act. Historical cycles. Orwell illustrates how history repeats itself. The animals overthrow a tyrant only to install another. The final scene, where pigs and humans are indistinguishable, underscores the cyclical nature of tyranny and the fragility of freedom. Allegorical references to Soviet history. Mr. Jones equals Tsar Nicholas II. Old Major equals Karl Marx, Vladimir Lenin. Animalism equals communism. Napoleon equals Stalin. Snowball equals Trotsky. Squealer equals state media, Pravda. The dogs equals KGB, secret police. The windmill equals Stalin's 5-year plans. Boxer equals working class proletariat. The farmhouse equals Kremlin. The confessions and executions equals Stalin's purges. The final scene equals Yalta Conference or normalization of diplomatic relations between Soviet Union and the West. Style and structure. Fable and allegory. Animal Farm is written as a fable, using animals to represent human figures. This structure allows Orwell to simplify complex political ideas while engaging a broad audience. The allegory deepens the reader's understanding of real-world history through symbolic storytelling. Satire. Orwell uses satire to expose the absurdities of totalitarian regimes. Through exaggeration and irony, he critiques propaganda, censorship, and the hypocrisy of revolutionary leaders who become tyrants. Clear, accessible prose. The novella's language is simple and direct. This accessibility masks the depth of its themes and ensures that the book functions as both a political tract and a literary work. Symbolism. The windmill. Symbol of manipulation and false hope. The commandments represent how ideology is manipulated. The pigs embody betrayal, elitism, and political corruption. The song, Beasts of England, revolutionary hope that is later suppressed. The flag with the hoof and horn echoes Soviet iconography and misplaced nationalism. Reception and legacy. Animal Farm was initially rejected by publishers wary of offending the Soviet Union, Britain's ally during World War II. Upon publication, however, it was met with acclaim and is now considered a classic of political literature. The novella remains widely read and studied, often assigned in schools. Its warnings about authoritarianism, propaganda, and the betrayal of revolutionary ideals have made it relevant across generations and political contexts. Its key phrase, "All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others," has become a universal symbol of political hypocrisy. Conclusion. George Orwell's Animal Farm is a brilliant and chilling satire that exposes the dark heart of political oppression. Through the lens of an animal fable, Orwell critiques not only Stalinist Russia but also the broader tendencies of revolutionary movements to devolve into tyranny. The novella's enduring power lies in its clarity, universality, and moral urgency. It serves as both a historical warning and a timeless reminder that power, when unchecked, can devour the very ideals it claims to uphold. Orwell's message is not merely political but profoundly human. Liberty, truth, and equality are fragile, and it is the responsibility of the people to guard them vigilantly. In Animal Farm, the animals forget their past, allow others to speak for them, and fall prey to propaganda. The final image, where the animals look from pig to man and back again but could not tell which was which, leaves readers with a haunting vision of what happens when revolution eats itself.